What's up, YouTube? It's Madcock83. I'm going to do something I haven't done in a few years. I'm going to do a mod spotlight. I happened to run across a mod called Rift. And there it is right there. It's not a whole lot, but I happened to run across it. And I really liked it, but I didn't quite understand exactly how it works. I played around with it. I tried to look on YouTube, but some of the spotlights for it weren't very good or didn't really tell me a lot, and a bunch of them were built into Let's Plays, and they were like 40-minute episodes of somebody's Let's Play I didn't necessarily want to watch in order to learn about the mod. So kind of gonna make one now. So basically what Rift is it's an infinite storage system. It's pretty neatly done, and it takes the place of something that I've missed for a long time from tube stuff, which is called a black hole chest, which is basically a one block chest that can hold as much crap as you can throw in it at no cost at all. But this one's done a little neater, or a little cooler, and has an energy cost, so I guess it's not exactly as free. Maybe you like using refined storage or AE2, but don't necessarily like having to keep making the disk space and all that kind of stuff, so you could also use this. A little neat thing it does, let's say early on, I'm not going to go over a lot of the recipes, I'll go over a few of them, but that's what NEI and JDI is for. So let's say you're starting off and you got yourself a nice little kind of starting your world. You throw a few chests down, just put some stuff in. We'll put some cobble in this chest, we'll put some dirt in that chest, put some iron in that chest, put some redstone in that chest. What you can do is craft you up some of these automatic proxies, which are hoppers from redstone and iron. Not too bad if you're using Project D. That's only 2600 EMC per. Can attach them like that. And let's throw this one up here so we can straight up look at it. You also craft what's called a Riff Browser, which is simply some glowstone, one of those automatic proxies, a little bit of iron. I know I said I wasn't going to go over recipes, but what the heck. A crafting one, which I'll show you here in a second, it's almost the same, except it's a lot more expensive. A few diamonds, some gold. My personal opinion, these are fairly cheap. That one's really expensive just to get the crafting mechanic. But anyway, you place that on there, you open that up, and you can see inside all the inventories those are attached to. It's a little bulky. I wonder if, look at me not being prepared. Let's try to do it a little simpler. Hey, there we go. We can see the inventories inside. Now, problem being, we can't really do anything else. We can't add. When you shift right click in there, it kind of disappears, but when you come when you come back out of there, it'll show back up in your inventory, so you can't really add anything or take anything out. These need to be powered, and you need to make an automatic driver, which is just blocks of redstone and a hopper. You can, let's say, just to make neat, we'll add back here. When you mouse over it, it has a little RF internal buffer. So what we'll do is just give it any source of RF. We're just going to hook it up here to a creative energy source. And now we can take stuff out, put stuff in, and it's going to kind of, I guess, put it where it wants to. We also have a search feature. If we change this over to the crafting one, now we can actually craft stuff. We'll put that in there, and now our stuff's stored. Very nice, neat little interface. We can do it by number of items or alphabetical order. We can also search, and if we filled this up, there would be able to scroll. Nice, neat, nifty for early game. Now we'll move on to the actual aspect that's added to the game. And now to make an actual rift, what you're going to need, let's get our inventory squared away here. We'll need some redstone, we'll need that iron, and just hold on to some cobblestone because that'll be helpful here in a second. We're going to need to craft an ender rift core, which is ender chest, redstone, obsidian, hopper. And you'll need to craft these ender rift orbs. When you first craft them, they'll be unbound. It's going to take some magma cream and a bunch of ender pearls and one eye of ender. And what we'll do is set him here. And to craft, it's actually a multi-block structure, and we're going to make 2 of these eventually. So to craft, simply like so. I believe it's 8 iron blocks and I think 11 or 12 redstone. We're going to put us 1 cobblestone there. This ender core sits in the middle, and you can get rid of that. And then just go opposite with the redstone. And then same iron blocks on top, or the same formation as the bottom on the top. And you leave all of the sides empty. It's a fairly simple multi-block to make, not too bad. And when you take one of your ender rift orbs, right click the center, you get the multi-block structure complete. When you mouse over it, you get, is it formed, is true, is powered? No, you need to power this thing. All the little corners here with the little red dots on them, those are places to insert power. So before we just go ahead and power it, it also comes with a rudimentary generator, which if you plop one down on the ground right there beside it, it doesn't seem to matter if it's facing this way or if you wrench it. Oh, there it goes. It'll turn and kind of connect that way, and I think that looks proper. If you go in here and throw down some coal, it'll start to heat up. And I'm using also a mod called Torturino. This will just speed it up so that it actually heats up and starts generating RF. And it's generating 37 RF per tick. It'll generate more as it heats up, and then it has a little internal buffer, but right now it's filling up the internal buffer of the ender rift. And as you see down there in the bottom right, it's collecting. If you were to break this, it would slowly start to dwindle away, start going down. This is just I don't even remember the recipe for this thing. There we go. Bucket of water, some redstone. It's really early game RF generation, which could be, of course, taken to anything else. And you can see the energy inside starting to drop down. You need to keep this maintained with a lot of energy, not a lot of energy, but a constant source of energy. So we're going to use creative just for the purposes of this demonstration. This spotlight, now it's completely full. And what can you do with this? If you right click on it, absolutely nothing happens. If you right click with objects, they disappear from your inventory and will take off into the rift, I guess, perhaps. What we want to do here, that's where these come back into play. The Riff Browsers. What is that one? That's also a Riff Browser. We'll need an interface to show that off. If you drop a Riff Browser right there on the center, connected to the core, and right click on it, there's our coal. But you can't actually take it out. You need 2 sources of energy. You need one source of energy to keep the rift open. Sorry about the noise. The ender rift itself needs power to sustain the rift in whatever that is to hold all your items. The browsers and such, the browser, the interface, whatever, also needs its own set of power. So for instance, what we're going to do is we're going to set us another one of those automation drivers and put us down some of these here, the automation proxies, and when we take, try not to break the whole structure, when we take that and place it down, now we have access and we can store various items just like so. Also, if we were to where's our crafting ones? This is kind of bulky. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but now we have access to the crafting mechanic as well. One other thing we have here is the interface. It's kind of blank, doesn't really show you much. We'll throw us another rift on here so we can access this. The way the interface works is how you can pipe items in or extract things out. Now, to extract stuff out, you need to set one of these filters. For instance, if we put redstone, it gathers a stack of redstone or whatever's actually sitting in there. If we wanted to say we want to automatically pipe out any redstone in there, you can use Ender IO or any other sort like such. If we put it to automatically extract, nothing's going to happen. If we add the block of redstone to our filter, it's automatically going to pull it out. The same should be true for if we swap these two around to insert and extract. We'll automatically extract and put anything in there regardless of what the filter says. Everything goes in the chest, goes through there, and shows up on this side. Fantastic. Now, as you can see here, we're losing 5 RF per tick. The more stuff you cram into the rift itself, the more energy it's going to take to keep it open. If we throw all this stuff in there, we are now pulling 14 RF a tick. That's not really bad. I don't have a comparison, let's say, to refined storage. I don't know how much. I don't think that uses a tick per drive space. But the more things that are connected will use more. To me, that's not much of a cost for these items. I wouldn't mind cramming this thing completely full just to see what it actually does. And I think it works just like refined storage. Let's say you put a bunch of stacks in there. They all kind of go together. And let's try one other little feature. Alright, let's say you have your setup here in your main base. That's holding all your stuff. You got all your crap chilling out over here. Put all those back. And let's say you got 2 spots. You're working in the nether, you got a little base there. You want to access your stuff. Or in main base has a big pile of crap and you don't really want to run a bunch of wires. You can actually share the same rift on different Ender Rift setups. So basically I've made it the exact same copy over here, I just haven't activated yet. If you right click with a new Ender Rift orb, it now becomes bound to that rift. So when you right click on here to activate this one, it's already set up, it's receiving the power, that's all there. We actually straight away have access. So took the egg out of here, egg's gone from this one. We add the egg back, we come here, there's the egg. Basically it's the exact same storage, they're just in 2 different spots and they work across dimensions and all that good stuff. Simple way for some wireless activity. I wouldn't say good for wireless transport because that's a lot of material and energy, because now you have to power both rifts, I believe. Yes. Even though they're the same rift, they're technically 2 different machines, so you got to power both. But like I said, the energy cost isn't that big, so it's not really a big issue. Now, let's go on to, let's get us another creative energy source. let's say you set this up in your base. You don't actually want to, well, yeah, you do want to store stuff, but you want to use refined storage or AE to actually do your crafting and some other mechanics if you wanted. I thought I had some cables. To make this work with refined storage, basically you're going to have your controller, some form of way to access it, either the Jesus, I'm blanking on it. I always use the crafting grid. Where my cables go? Basically, all you have to do is take the little external exporter, right click it onto the core itself, and by the way, if you look at the core and hold down shift, it gives you a little showing of what's in there. I have no idea what it's going to look like when it's completely full of stuff, but anyway, you make that connection and now your items all show up in here. We'll use the egg again, taking the egg out, takes the egg out of this one, throw the egg back in, and there it is, and you can use it same way. You can also then get rid of that stuff, so it's a little less of an energy cost, and just use this one. And according to this, we're using 5RS in order to use that one. So that takes the place of our storage drives and cards and whatnot, and we just use this to do our crafting. Fantastic. If you have a guidebook installed, the mod itself guidebook, it'll come with a little guidebook to go through, and there's a lot of good information in there. Most of it, I think I've covered the basics of how it works. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Found this to be a nice little mod that didn't have too much documentation on YouTube. At least the author puts a bunch of stuff on the post to download it, and for me it was a little confusing right off the bat, but now it kind of makes a lot of sense and seems very useful. I hope you guys like it. It's Madcock83. Have a good day.